strongest attack that we should always try to get is the rear naked choke. So if you do that quickly. Yeah, we're not going through the details again, but this is the attack that we went through. If you can't see it, then you maybe go somewhere where you can. And let go back to the seatbelt. We also looked at an escape, or a concept for escaping, which is to base on one arm, get our chin to the shoulder, point our knees to the ground so we can get rid of a hook, then escape to our knees. Okay? It usually won't fall like that, but getting to our knees is the first step to getting to safety from back control. We also looked at the mount, the full mount. And from here we looked at the concept of controlling an arm and rolling our opponent. Or, alternatively, if our opponent doesn't let us roll them. So if we get the arm and we roll but they base out, we create space through their defense and get our knee inside. Once we have that, we can shrimp to the other side, get both in, and recover our guard. Okay? That's what we looked at from mount. Then we had side mount. No, start on your knees. From side mount again, we looked at getting our elbow inside, so creating wedges to keep our opponent away. Elbow inside, shrimp away, knee inside, and then push away and recover guard. And then we looked at what happens when our opponent doesn't let us do that and drops the hip. Yes. And now he squeezes my other hip to himself so that I can't shrimp anymore. So it doesn't allow me to create space between us, but this allows me to go up and create space under us. Then I can go under him, frame, and roll him. So similar idea to the mount. We have the choice between either creating space, while our opponent really has the choice between letting us create space or staying tight and getting rolled. Now firstly we looked at the guard, and this is going to be the focus of today. Everything we do today will be from guard, because the guard is the main position that we recover to in Jiu-Jitsu. So what we looked at from here were, for one, an armbar, and the way we did it last time was we brought an arm to the center, we controlled it here, we controlled the head with our outside hand, and then we shrimped out. We got our leg in front, and then we finished from here. This is an okay way to do it. The important part is really holding your opponent down. And we also looked at, the reason I taught you this grip was because we looked at what happens when our opponent postures up and we can't hold him down because he's too strong. And so I get pulled up with him. And now I can post up and use the power that he uses to stay up, I can use to push him over. Okay? Now today we keep looking at the armbar, but we're changing some things. Again, we get an arm to our center line, but this time instead of holding it with this arm, we push against it with the other arm, and this arm holds the head. So we're switching. We were like this, now we're like this. The reason we're doing that, both of them work, but the reason we're doing it like this today is because now to prevent the posturing up this time, so we don't want to allow it. To prevent it this time, we will use our legs to keep our partner down. So in guard, my legs are controlling his body, and if we imagine his spine as a lever, right now I'm at the lower end of the lever. So if my legs are not doing a whole lot to hold him down. If I get them higher on the lever, it's easier to hold them down. And if I get them really high, so this will mostly require that I shift my body a little bit, so it's kind of more in line with where his arm is pointing. So here, now I can get my legs really high and lock them like this. We call this a top lock for today. The foot that's over his shoulder goes under the other foot. So this foot that's under his arm is over the other one. The ankles are locked, and now it becomes very difficult for Zitsu to posture up. If he tries to go up now, yeah, it's hard. He might still be able to do it, but it's very difficult. It will take a lot of energy from him. From here now, we want to get one arm under our partner's leg. This helps us to pivot. So turn. When we turn, we open our legs, and we want the force that we apply with the armbar always goes in the direction that our feet are pointing. So we want our feet to point away from Sietze, not towards this leg where he can base, but out beyond it. So this way he can't base, and that allows us, when we go in front, to put him to his back. Okay? Now for the first drill, we only do the first part of this. We only go to the top lock. So I'll show it again. Pay attention, because in a moment you will have to do it. We get his arm to the center. We get his arm to the center. We hold it in. From the outside we grab his head. Then we shrimp out a little bit so our body is in line with his arm. Our spine is aligned with his arm. And then we lock our feet like this. So one leg goes over his shoulder so that the inner thigh touches his ear. And the other leg is under his arm and goes over the first one. Ankles are locked. We are here. This is the position we want to get to. This is the first drill. Alright, so we start the same way. Everything starts with the drill we just did. Again, we're holding the elbow to the inside, pulling down, aligning ourselves with the forearm, getting the top lock. And now from here, the next step, right, Sietze starts putting a bit of weight on top of me, so it gets more difficult. When I want to extend here, it's hard. So I go with my arm under his leg, and I create an angle. I unlock, and now this leg pushes down to hold him down, and this knee pushes against his head, so I kind of clamp these legs together to hold him in place. This leg points away, and now quickly I bring it in front of his head. And from here, because my legs are pointing away, so he doesn't have a base here, his base is there, and I'm pointing here, so now I can bring him down to the ground, and from here it becomes a lot easier to finish. Again, we're here, we get an arm, hold it in, hold down the head, align our body, get the top lock, Sietze comes forward, I go under his leg, this is very important, and then I use this arm here to pull myself, and at the same time I open my legs, because otherwise it's going to be difficult to turn here. I clamp my legs together so Sietze can't get away easily. And then I get this foot in front and I push him down. I have his arm, shrimp out to the top lock. And now Sietze starts stacking me, which means he brings his head over top of mine and he brings, bring your leg up against my butt. Bring it up, like you can put me up. Yeah, right, like this. Okay, so now from here, you're gonna have a very hard time putting Sietze down because he's putting weight down on me and his head is over my head, so this is very difficult. What I can do from here, however, is instead of getting my arm under this leg, I get it all the way past this leg. And now, when I get my arm in front, I spin out to the side. Now I'm here. Now it's possible to break from here, but it can be difficult, especially if he keeps his arms locked, which he didn't now. But if he keeps his arms locked, yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time breaking the lock from here. But one thing I can do, if I'm here, is I can grab this arm, this leg, and now I pull it over, whoop, and again I pull Sietze on his back. I'll show it again. But you're all gonna have problems doing this, that's normal. I'm just gonna help each of you individually. Arm, head, never forget holding the head. I see some of you not hold the head. This is the most important part. If you don't have the head in the beginning, his posture will just be up and I won't be able to get anything if you posture up. From here, there's simply no arm bar. There's no way. I need him down here. Okay? So I'm here. I adjust my body. I get a top lock to hold him down. I get my leg under. I open my top lock. Again, position, Sietze stacks me. Yes. I get my arm through, behind the other leg, and I turn through and put his head on the mat. I'm here, grab his leg. I grab it under. You can grab it another way. It doesn't matter too much. But I grab like this. And now I pull it over me and use my legs to turn him on his back. Alright? Now pair up and try this. As soon as Sitze starts standing up, I want to stop him. From now. Now if he's very smart, he's going to stand up in a way that I can't stop. But if he stands up like this and his leg is close to me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under straight away and I'm going to push him over and come on top. Okay? Now what if he manages to stand up quickly and get both legs in the air? Then this becomes more difficult. This is going to be hard to do now, but I can get both of them. If I have both, it's quite easy again to pull them down. Okay? So these two, they're both very simple. We tried them both now. The first one is slightly more technical. The second one is really very intuitive. So as soon as Sitze comes up, I grab and I grab low. I don't want to be here in the knee. I want to be down at the ankle. I pull the ankle towards me. I want to straighten this leg out. And I raise my hip and push against Sitze. And I don't push down at the level of his hips, but I go high as possible. Like this. Okay? And I come up like this. I'm stretched out like this. There are still things that I can do, but they are pretty advanced. So for you, this is the point where you give up. Ideally, you want your hands locked, okay? And not just like this. This is not a very strong lock. What you want ideally is you want this hand with the arm that he has, this hand on your triceps, and the other hand in front of his leg, like this, okay? This way you can already take a bit of pressure off your face. That makes it easier to see and think and just not be in pain. And what you can do from here now, if Sitze is not tight enough, if he's super tight and stronger than me, then this is going to be difficult. But if Sitze is not tight enough, what I can do from here is I bring my legs up and I kind of, while I bring them down, I shrimp out a little bit and I pull my elbow out. As soon as my elbow is out, you see this? It's not really, it's past his crotch. There's no armbar anymore. As soon as I'm here, I'm just like, it's not going to happen. If Sitze pulls my arm back now, just pull it back, like if you try to break it from there, it's not gonna work. Yeah, well, if he pulls it in again, you see. He wants the elbow here, but as long as it's here, there's no break. So if I can get here, I'm safe. Now from here, I just try to go wherever. Like there's moves to pass the guard from here, but for us, the only thing that matters now is be safe from the armbar. And then from here, we just go to our defense from last time and just ball up, okay? So again, what I want is the arm that's being attacked grabs the triceps of the other arm. This is our basic attacking, our basic defending position here. There are ways to defend without locking, and they are arguably better, but they are more difficult, and so we're not looking at those today. We're just looking at this because it's what most people do. Again, I'm here. I bring my legs up. And as I bring them down, I bring my hip out this way. And I pull my elbow down. I try to not elbow Sitze in the balls when I do this. But yeah, I'm here and I'm out. From here, I just kind of push him away, try to get safe. Alright?